Can you hear? Peace, my brothers. Welcome to another House of Consciousness production. We have Brother Phil here, who's going to speak on the UCC and a host of other things. We have this queen over there, who's a beautiful lecturer. So we're going to give it up for our brother, Phil Valentine.
So we got this beautiful impromptu thing, and some informal stuff. I don't want to, get too involved to the point where we have to take more time to investigate the situations that we have going on. You know, the way I usually like to do it, the 8 hours that we need and so forth. But I'm very happy anytime there is an interest, a strong interest in finding out how you can make yourself free. And it's very, very the times that we are slowly drawing down to is getting more and more precarious, because you're not going to have any more outlets. Everything you're going to be doing from now on is going to be criminalized. Everything you're about, what you think is real, the whole structure of the society, they're getting ready to come down 125th Street because Tishman put in a bid for the Victoria Theater. And they're taking the theater out, straight from the theater all the way to the corner. Everything. So if you over there like your McDonald's, you're going to have to find it someplace else. They want to put up a hotel about the size of the Harlem State Office building. And then further straight down Harlem, on 125th Street, right to the waterfront, there is going to be a ferry. All the structures are in place. They're going to take that whole part that you see right underneath Riverside Drive. All of that is getting ready to be a place where they're going to be putting up condominiums. And your boy, Charlie Rangel, already has the maps set up. 125th Street, Harlem ain't going to look nothing like Harlem anymore. They may keep the club, Cotton Club, but they may have something going where they renovate it and absorb it into the buildings that they would have around there. They would set up in there. That is the other thing. There may be a move on the Apollo. That's the part of it. But Apollo has such a following that that's a taboo issue until the last minute. They may move it so that it's expanded. They were thinking about buying, if the deal goes right, they would take the Apollo and join it to buy out all those stores there that you see, and have the Apollo be one huge magna theater, super theater. Now there are some people who are trying to turn the Victoria into a preservation site and try to get some funding to build it up so that they can keep it in the community. Also make some a music school, a place for the arts and so forth. So there are things that are in the works right now that dark folks are trying to fight for, but it's at the grassroots level. It's not from the political level. In the political level, it's already been sold, bought and sold. There was a move against all the houses up and down that you see right there off, what is this, Adam Clayton. They wanted to move that into small condominiums, because they're going to need places for the whites that they're getting ready to move up here. Because when that ferry now gets set up, that's going to be a major tourist pull, ferry service down there by the waters.
On Malcolm X Boulevard, Lenox Avenue, on 25th Street, they already done shut down all the stores over there already. Y'all familiar with that, right? Where the newspaper stand is at?
Yeah.
I think it was British Walkers there. Yeah. They shut all that down. They closed that down right there.
All that's getting ready.
Yeah.
All that's getting ready. And then they're going to move straight down to the park, because a lot more of the whites downtown going to be moving uptown, right up to where the park is now.
They doing that now.
And all of that moving over there to the west side, all whites. They're getting ready. They're not going to be seeing too many black people. If you look around Queens, you don't see too many black people. You see black people who are Indians. You see people of color who are from Africa and so forth. The indigenous peoples who are from the South, everybody is migrating back to the South or into the Midwest. And what you have is this infusion of people from different parts of the world who are going to be taking over Harlem. They already said Harlem had its renaissance, and it's now going to be, the new renaissance is going to be the movement of a whole lot of people that don't look like the people who settled Harlem. And it's going to be this multicultural center that they're going to set up in Harlem. And it may set it up in one of the hotels or at one of the ports that they're going to set up along that area. But there is going to be a multicultural center, and just be looking out for it, and you'll see it. And like Brother said, it's going to happen because they're going to be quietly closing down. They're going to be quietly buying out all the houses all along the areas that you see, 120th Street Park, Malcolm. What is that park right there? That's right there on 120th Street, 121st, Mount Morris. Yeah, Marcus Garvey Park is going to be going through some serious renovations as well. So they want to build a kind of a monument there, because they want to build they may put a statue there of Marcus Garvey. But what you're going to do is you're going to see a lot of trappings of what used to be Harlem. They're going to have a lot of trappings, black trappings in the front, but who's in behind it are going to be all these people, the Japanese, the Hindu, the Indians, and Koreans, and Arabs. And they have already formed the coalition that's going to start moving the peoples of color out. But the Africans as well have put in there. Nigerians have put in a lot of money, and they also going to try to put their stake in here in Harlem. So with that, as a segue into what we're going to be speaking about, I wanted to kind of touch upon some of what they call the black news and bring us up to snuff. First and foremost, you know, tomorrow is what they call Valentine's Day. I'm dating this, right? So tomorrow is like Valentine's Day. And I want to talk about the sexist kind of thing that's going on. And I got in over the last 3 to 4 days. I've been talking to people, and the number one thing has been the feminization of our society. The fact that we have not seen any manhood-focused things except in WWF wrestling. That's the only place you get to flex. But you can't intellectually flex. You don't see anybody with power, quiet power, real power. The only time you see that is with the alpha white male or somebody else who is black but not black, you see. So what we have is this feminization. It's all over the television. And it's interesting how they got men who pretty much don't make up as much of the workforce anymore, worrying about whether or not their roses are going to be properly in tune for what you got to give the woman. So what we got now is the TV setting up a whole news section about how to pick up whether she will notice your cheap roses. So now they have a whole section in the news to teach women and men how to buy the proper roses so that she could be happy. And all of what you're seeing in the commercials now is make sure you get the right thing or you're sleeping on the couch. So now a man is no longer in his home as his home. He has to constantly cater to the fluctuating whims of a woman who cannot be satisfied. We have to always be ready to satisfy. There's even one where this man is supposed to be buying a McDonald's pack. She says, you know what I want. And he says, no, I don't know what she wants. Now, if she's his woman, normally he would know. But because she's got the fickleness, he bought her some kind of chicken wing with something, and she says, oh, I love it. And he's in the back like he just scored a touchdown. Understand that what you're doing is, you as a man, you no longer have to prove yourself as a man to go out and hunt and bring the meat back across your shoulders and have her fix it. You have to bring her just exactly what she wants to keep everything calm. Your manhood is no longer necessary, needs to be tested. Young brothers no longer need to prove manhood because all the things that women need are at their reach. So we don't need your strength anymore. We don't need for you to provide. We don't even need for you to protect because 911 and I'm all right. So the male is going through a period where he is becoming obsolescent because he no longer is necessary in the new family paradigm that they've structured for us, which is to remove the male from the home so that the female now has to deal with the government as the man, and exactly what it is that they're doing. It's interesting how Charles Barron, who said he was running for mayor, before we even hear anybody's announcing for mayor, he says he ain't running. I didn't know anybody was announcing for mayor. Is there anything running in the city? Anybody say that anybody's running? Who else is running for mayor?
See Virginia Fields, but no, she ain't made no statement like
But that's what I'm saying. Nobody's made any statements to say, I'm running for mayor. Okay, I'm not running for mayor anymore. Right. Nobody made a statement say I'm running for mayor, yet still, here it is, he's running out of the race. What race? Who brought the horses to the starting gate? Who got the gun to shot him up? Nobody said anything. You see how quietly they do it? They do it now behind the field. Tammany Hall got politics so sewn up that the politics of running for mayor is who's already going to be mayor. And you put your lot in and a secret ballot that says, okay, we'll take a lot to see who's going to support you. If the Jews ain't going to support you, if the white merchants are going to not support you, if the Arabs ain't going to support you, they put their bid in and they say to the Arabs community, the Korean community, they say to the white community, boom, here, you're the ones running business and finance at this time. If we give the power of mayorship over to the niggers, imagine what's getting ready to happen, what kind of empowerment. You know you wanted that store in the Harlem community. That's right. You can't get it if I give it to Barron, if Barron runs. All right, so now your money got to go behind the two candidates we got up here, so you'd be assured to get that property, you'd be assured to have this particular contract, this particular, what is that, construction gig. All of that is structured already in the politics. Now, the problem is, he would have come in with some kind of fire as an ex-Panther. And they know it. And he got a record. And they don't know what it is. He's so clean with what he got as far as his being in the community that they got to trump up some stuff to see if they can dig it up. Now, for him to say he's getting out of it, he would have had to have seen the evidence that they had on him to see whether or not he could run. And he would have had to already tried to raise money. And couldn't get it from people because they're so unconscious and want to be somebody else. If they see somebody that's a Black Panther, with all the vilification that went on around the early Black Panthers, he would have lost all kind of nonsense would have come out and they would have connected him to Khalid and all this kind of nonsense.
And to add on to that, brother, is you automatically back see Virginia Field, who don't give a damn about black youth.
Don't care.
Automatically rolls with Giuliani.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not only that, you got Puff Daddy, who could give Giuliani $1 million for the World Trade Center. Why you can't reach out to the youth or to Al Sharpton, yo, get on these rappers, tell them we need this amount of money.
But the rappers already bought and sold. Exactly. There is no rappers. Anytime you got a Negro who is up here wanting to be, you know, all about the money, honeys. and the bling. The reason why I said this is because they take our ways of phrasing and they put their faces on it. We shape the language. We have what we have as black folks, as people of color, as a vanishing breed of creative minds here, is our language is a commercial language. When black people speaks, it becomes money. You see what I'm saying? So you can use the jargon of black folks who are less powered and use that as the new lexicon for sales all over the world. And what's happening is, the brother made a great point. You can't go to the hip hop community anymore because once they become a hip hop mogul, their money doesn't belong to them anymore. Their money is tied up in franchises that have made deals to distribute that product. They're more political now, so they're comfortable. They'll give what is politically correct to who is politically correct.
That's right.
So you can't deal with house niggas or field niggas who thought they were house niggas, who now have the chance to be house niggas and now want the job of house niggas. So you can't trust Puff. You can't trust, what's his name, Russell. No way you can trust Russell. You can't trust any of the rappers who's coming up who's chasing the bling.
That's right. Yeah.
So we don't have any conscious people in places that would want to fire up the consciousness of people to let them understand that if you're looking at melanated peoples or the so-called black people in the community one step from misery, know that you're next, because these crackers who are playing this power game don't understand that they are part of that. And when you deal with black people, the actions of the leadership or the actions of those who wish to control us are hidden in the plight of black people, so that since they already know that black people, criminals, drug addicts, gang members, what do you call it? The movement of the power structure to wage war on them first don't look like they're getting ready for them. It just looks like it's another day. Black man, fucked up, perp walk, it's another day. I can go back to sipping my tea. Not realizing that they are practicing on black folks what they're going to do to get to the white folks. And the funny part about it is, and this is what we're going to learn, in Iraq, the headline says they're running out of people. You want to know why? Because the numbers that you're getting in the newspapers related to the amount of deaths as well as people who are coming back wounded, not only physically but psychologically, has rose. The so-called Republican Guard fell back when the Americans came in and structured the war to wait till they got entrenched, and are waging a successful guerrilla war against the soldiers of the United States right now. They're telling you that they're pulling men off the ranks in order to give them a rest. Now they're saying that middle-aged GIs are being sent there. Grandfathers. Grandfathers are being sent to the front. So what's happening now, you're going to have a draft. And she's over there with her 4-inch clit, pretending it's a dick, saber rattling against Korea and Iran. And you heard what they say, if anybody comes in here, they're going to get scorched.
Who said that?
Iran.
Okay, what about North Korea?
North Korea now.
They came out and told them.
We got the bomb.
We waiting on America.
That's right. And the thing about it is, let me tell you something. Again, you got to understand what's going on. And here's why I'm going to give you this, because the focus of today and what we need to be doing is tied into everything that I wanted to show us, because we got to lay the groundwork to understand the kind of world that we're getting ready to move into. North Korea, Iran, and all of them got pacts with Russia, and Russia has already been building up the arsenals. It's Russia putting them guns in there. When you see that Kalashnikov rifle, that's the #1 assault rifle on the planet, 10 times to 100 times better than the M16 or 18 that they give it to the American soldiers. That one of my buddies, who's an ex-Marine of airborne, said that Kalashnikov could fire while if it was buried in mud overnight, you could come up swinging and fighting. Underwater, in the cold, all-terrain weapon. And yet they give us the gun that jams. The guns who don't shoot straight. After a while, if the barrel get heat up, the bullets don't shoot where you aim it anymore. Okay? So now here we have a situation where Americans who are not trained professional soldiers are going over there and getting killed off. Now, people don't understand what's happening and why it is that they're sacrificing most of these young boys and these young girls out there, which is going to be part of what we're going to talk about when we get into the situation around UCC. But the war being waged in Iraq and this quest by this government, which is not a government, is this democratization of the planet has a commercial purpose. And you have to understand why it is that they have to do that. It's all tied in to the national debt, the people's debt, or what they call the people's debt. And that debt has to be paid to the international bankers who put it out there. Now, here's the secret. There is a constitutional amendment that states that the national debt cannot go over $6 trillion, 6.1, 6.5. On September the 11th, 2001, it went to $7.2 trillion. To cover up, they had the meeting that was being held at the second floor of the World Trade Center, where all the information and documentation having to do with the fact that they had broken the law, the government had to be fired, the government was going to be pulled, was in those two towers. So all the proof about America having to refinance to the International Banking Consortium was in the World Trade Center towers. Now we owe 7.1, 7.2 trillion. And if you have all the credentials and are part of the U.S. corporate structure government, then your ass is concentration camp material. And we're going to get to that a little later. Your boy Bush, we told you, had a little skirt with him. And I don't mean a girl on his arm. I'm talking about he being part skirt. And that he had a relationship, a homosexual relationship from his days with Skull and Bones. He had a homosexual relationship with a governor with a mayor that's presently in Tennessee.
But didn't Kerry ordain him?
Yeah, Kerry brought him in. Right. But the thing was that Kerry, when he brought him in, he also brought the dude who's the mayor down in Tennessee. I don't know if it's Nashville or one of the other major cities. Now, the guards, the Secret Service, about 2 or 3 of them resigned because they had to guard him while he was going on with this homosexual games with this dude that he was dealing with from Nashville. It was Nashville, Tennessee? I'm not sure. But the mayor. And when he was outed, they quit because he was over there slobbing in some place that they go to They busting slobs and playing games and so forth. And they said, no, we can't be bothered with this. We can't allow this to happen. We out of here. I'm a Christian. This guy is playing at being one thing and he's another. One thing led to the next. And one of the Secret Service men overheard a conversation between Bush and this mayor. The mayor was crying. Seems like he had HIV. Now we see in the newspaper, Bush's press pal, one of his closest press pals who used to sit in the audience to ask dumbass questions to offset the liberals or the Democrats, is gay. Not just flaming gay, but sure enough gay, gay soldiering gay. And he has a porn site. He's always in Bush's press conference so that when the Democrats ask the tough questions, he's there to ask a question to offset the question, to put Bush back on track to start looking good again. But then he got outed because all the other Democrats who's online started trying to find out who he was. The dude wasn't who he even was when he got his press pass, but was given access into the White House on a pseudonym. Now you know that if he is one of Bush's pets that he brings in, he had to be one of Bush's lovers. But then that's nothing new. Why is it new? Because essentially the word ghetto don't mean nothing no more. When you say the word ghetto and you say the brother comes from the ghetto, what does it drum up in your mind?
From the hood.
From the hood.
Or something that's, low
Right.
class or something.
Yeah. So, but what's the temperament? What are the brothers who come out of the hood like?
Thugs.
Thugs, strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they didn't lose their manhood. You know, usually when you come out the hood, you fronting manhood. Now we done found out that a lot of these rappers is cold down low.
That's right.
But here's the other part of it. The word ghetto no longer means coming out of the hood as a man, doing your thing, flexing, trying to make better for yourself. This is what the word ghetto now means. It says here, how the ghetto kid got saved by Broadway. And what you need to do is to take a good look at this nigga in a suit, but then look at his shoes.
Oh, man. Feminization.
Here I go again. Now, how many times when you heard me say the wounded womb, what we was talking about, and what's getting ready to go down, there was a lot of feminized black sisters was pissed off with me. Even some brothers defending sisters when I was telling you where we going. And the fact that they want to put skirts on men. Every one of the movies you're looking at on television now got some creeped out feminized man who is either dressing up like his wife to make her feel secure so that you could feel secure with your, check the psychology. The way you feel secure as a man is to dress as a woman. It don't make, you can dress as a man. Are you a man underneath? Yes, so dressing as a woman doesn't take away your manhood.
That's what they say.
That's how they're playing off the men now. Because we don't have anything to do. It comes down to the fact that when, quote, sisters or women or the feminine nature gets bored, she looks for a lot of things to do. If she has nothing to do, she'll find something to do and then get into things that you say, well, what you doing? Why did you do it? Doesn't matter. Now that you as a man ain't got nothing to do, you notice how they're attacking you for a makeover?
Yeah.
The makeover was already done. They done already fagotized you inside so that now they got you sitting down with every program you see on television, it's makeover time. And they got some nigga or some hard-working blue-collar man with his fingers in what do you call it? and his toes being manicured and painted up. What the fuck is happening to our society? No more manhood, and the redefinition of manhood is happening. Now where the schools now are saying you have to sit like the little girls, because you see they're moving farther and further. So now the boys, being that they're sitting like little girls, the girls now are befriending not the brothers who are men, they're befriending the faggots who help them to dress and who help them to know how to be a better girl or how to get the man.
There's a new movie coming out. I don't know if it hit the streets yet, but it's on bootleg, and it's with Will Smith.
Called Hitch.
Now, in that movie, he's supposed to be trying to teach this white boy how to date a woman.
Right.
So when he talks about the woman, how to go up to kiss her, the white boy said, "What you mean, like this?" And grabs Will's face and kiss him on the lips. And Will said, "What the hell you doing, man?" But see, it's already over.
No.
Don't put that inside the children's mind that's going to be watching that.
But wait a minute, it's not even that. It's what he says when he pulls away. He said, man, your mouth was open too soon. So he was going to get ready to kiss the boy, and he said, you brought the tongue too soon. So what was you going to do? Kiss the man and then start the tongue later while you was up there? So now you're beginning, and now he got 3 stars with the hitch. Because he kissed a man. And you notice that black people, black males, don't get to the next level of stardom until they go fag. Remember what Wesley did? Had to put on his skirt and become, what do you call it? All of them are playing that girl role. The only person that got away from that was Denzel. See?
But he got shot in the ass, though.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I was just trying to find out on this tip here why it is that he didn't catch an earlier train.
Yeah, right?
Somebody should have got him on that train much, much sooner. They needed to get him to wherever he had to get 10 minutes sooner. Just missed it. But of course, we know how he's awake and why he's still up. There is no more hip hop. All right, it's gone. The quality of hip hop is gone. We know it, and I already told Brother Sarnetta and I told even Brother Baz that I want to get together with the brothers in the music community, and I want to do a music retrospective of black creativity. I want to show the destruction of black creativity in the music industry and in the expressive industry, spiritual industry. That's what I call it, is a black spiritual industry. Music, where we used to put forward the ideas, put forward the melodies of the time, interpret the time through our melodies. I'm going to show it from back where we were dealing with Duke, and from Duke all the way to now, what do we have to look forward to? Nothing. There's nothing. Of course, what they're going to do is big up who they want you to big up. And I took this out of the newspaper particularly. There is a rapper who is Eazy-E's son called The Game. He's called The Game. Now, I want you to see what's going on with this, because it's in the it's in the script. It's in the script what's happened to our music. Check out what it says. It says, do you think it's impressive that hip-hop icon 50 Cent got shot 5 times? That's the first line. The first line says, do you think that it's impressive that hip-hop icon 50 Cent got shot 5 times? Next line. Well, the rapper known as Game was shot 7 times and ended up in a coma. Those are the first 2 lines. And what is this newspaper? The Daily News. Next line. Actually, 2 of the bullets just grazed me, qualifies Jason Taylor, aka The Game. The others went right through me. That's the next line. So what's the next line after that? Those aren't the Game's only qualifications for stardom. Now wait a minute, I want you to understand what you just heard here. We just heard that 2 brothers got shot by other brothers. He qualified that 2 grazed me while the others went through me, and then the bastard, Jim Farber, Daily News music critic, says those aren't the Game's only qualification for stardom. Of course, he's an agile wordsmith whose work aims to recast gangster rap for a new generation. So like when the gangster rap was up, that's when Tupac and everybody was just at the crest, and they were killing each other off. Now they're gonna bring that shit back because you know that the government needs a spark to start shit. And they've been recruiting the gang members. They swoop them up, put them in jail, and they give them their marching orders. It's the gang members that they're going to use for crowd control. At night, they're going to make them the ones patrolling your streets, especially in the small towns where you got people. They're going to be getting them out the jails, and they're going to be recruiting them from the jails to do night duty to lock you down on curfew when the time hits.
And to add on to that is, remember how we used to say, well, you ain't nobody if you ain't been to jail. Remember coming up, they said, man, I did 5 years. Well, now they gonna be saying, man, if you ain't get shot, you ain't no real gangster.
That's right.
I got shot 5 times.
Right.
I got shot 10 times.
Right.
To make you a real thug and a gangster rapper.
Right.
You just speaking it. You ain't living it.
Right.
Lived it.
Right.
They gonna be saying.
But you see, yes, but you see now to elevate that element as the element that you want to show to be the flagship for black musical culture. Do you understand the ramifications of that? We had a progression of music for peoples of color that spoke to the times. And those who had the responsibility of speaking to us through the airwaves made sure that they kept connections to us with the songs that they knew spoke to our reality but gave us hope. Keep Your Head to the Sky, EWF, War, Going Back. Everybody did something to try to give us some kind of point to let us know what was going on. These people don't care. This is the I'm entitled to this shit, fuck you generation. They don't care. They don't know nothing about their history, don't want to know about their history. All they want to know is what they're going to do to get paid the next day. And that's exactly the way that they had orchestrated this 20 years ago. Remember, they work in 20, 30, and 40-year increments they plan for. Last time we were together, I did a lecture where I told you that this boy here, Prince Harry, is the one you had to watch out for. Were you all there at the time? Mm-hmm. I told you that Prince Harry was the man, or the boy, who was not the son of Prince Philip or King Philip or whoever the dude is that's going to marry that lizard, Camilla Parker Bowles, Charles. I told you that that was not his son. His son was this other dude that Diana was loving on. And if you put that dude next to him, Harry, they're twins. Harry now said he was at some kind of party and got busted wearing his Nazi swastika. As if, oh my God. No, he was just busted. He didn't think they were going to take a picture. Not only that, his family is from Germany. Remember, the whole British crown is German. And switched their names up during World War I. So now the Nazis are in place, not only there where we read about it, but there's a professor who said that in 9/11, Nazi professor quits college post. Some professor was talking about the fact that everybody that was in the World Trade Center were Nazis, little Eichmanns, and it deserved to die. The Nazis are all here. Finally, as we bring it full circle so that we can get started on the actual throwdown for today, the newspapers, I believe it's the Post, because I was given this by my brother, Brother Chambers. We were telling you at a gig that we did called Lockdown USA, the metaphysics of 21st century slavery. We told you that the slavery system will begin in the schools at the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade level. The Post did a breakdown. This woman named Andrea Pizer. And it's quizzing kids. What are the 3 main reasons that adults in school treated you poorly or unfairly? Because you're a boy or a girl? Because of the way you dress or wear your hair? Because of your accent? And this is the other one. How much does your mother and father like or love you? Now, we told you that what they're going to be doing is taking a census in the schools to track the parents' behavior. You saw that in the movie Equilibrium, where the children are spies on the parents. This same thing, where they're actually using the children, is what they did in Nazi Germany when they began to recruit the young children from school. And I'm saying this to you here and making a prediction. Again, watch out for the next move to recruit your young children from ages 7 years to wear uniforms from the government in certain programs that they're about to give to school districts so that they can have the government money. These programs are going to take the children and put them into little boot camps.
But they already started that.
Well, here's what I'm saying. They didn't start it in the straight up ghetto yet.
Okay.
They're about to move in and offer the districts that are poorest whole organizational money structures to completely change the curriculum around so that now the best of the best education will be given to those who come into this pilot program. And for you to have access to it, you have your little collar with your little flag, with your, what do you call it? They already started the school, I told you, here in Queens, where it's a school for young people who just want to be cops and work for the government. A brand new school with a pool, and this is a junior high school going into a and 1 year or 2 years of high school. Brand new. The first thing you do when you come in there is because you want to be a cop. Coming out of junior high school, you go into this school because you want to be a cop.
Over here in Harlem, they got skirts on little girls, man. They come up to here.
Yeah.
That's a part of their uniform. Not long dresses, not to be decent.
Right.
But they got them up to here.
But you know, sometimes
these young girls now,
right?
Here, they got these big legs.
Yeah, but you know what?
Burgers and all that.
Right.
Milk and these damn dairy products they eat.
But you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of those girls turned to skirts. Because I went to Catholic school and I knew what they did when they got out of school. They go in the bathroom right before they leave, or when they get down the block, they go into the McDonald's and they start turning it up and making it into these mini skirts. And they've been tempting these old men who give them money to come by. And now it's all right. See, now I was talking about that, and the change of the onus for morality is now on men rather than women. What happened? We have a society now that was telling women they could do whatever they want to do. And now you notice that women are acting, the new thing is that you got to be more slut than the last time. There's more sluts coming out now pretending to be the new woman. This is the new kind of girl. This is the new me. But it's all about sophisticated slutdom. And the more slutting you do, the more you get prominence. That was the reason why Sex in the City, or what I call Sluts in the City, was so successful. Because it was telling women you didn't have to worry about any kind of moral code that your ancestors used to carry. Now, because of that, you're noticing that men are being forced into these things where they now have to carry the moral code. They're the ones that's going to be pushed into the corner now because they're not going to be able to trust that slutting. The women now can do whatever they want, but then cry rape. And right now, the courts are filled. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at Snoop. We can do what we want. We can act slutty, play slutty, but boom, we still own you. That's to show you how deeply feminized this society is and that we're becoming more and more of a hive. The complexity to be a woman and the complexity of being a man and the complexity of the relationship that comes together with those two dynamics are gone. Women are men, men are women, and we are all one drone marching to the same drum, the same tune. The Christians who have been given billions of dollars to build the churches and to bring in the people who don't have any more leadership, because black people need to think they have a leader. They don't have it anymore. The preacher has become the leader. He is now the banker. He's the one who shepherds the flock and reports the daily earnings. He now, for you to become part of the bigger churches where you will get the gratuities, you got to confess all your sins, all the shit, and it's put on record now. So God has a record of your sins, which can be used against you and is going into a large computer base. So just in case you don't feel like being with God no more, there's a computer base in Washington to make sure that you remember Jesus. Now, I had put together some notes because what's important is, all this being said, if you do not know how they're getting ready to roll into your communities, if you don't understand what the laws are that is motivating the police, then you are going to end up being what is known as a warehouse receipt. I'm going to read some things off and then we're going to discuss what they mean. The courts downtown, as well as the courts anywhere else across the country, is under what is known as statute law or statutory law. The reason why they're under statutory law right now is because back in 1789, a corporation called the United States, which belonged to King George, was established in the continental, what they call American continent, the continental America. And that corporation was immediately put into bankruptcy. Now, in order to create the conditions that they can control or take back the land that they had won, they had to get all the people who were at that time pretty much diversified and doing their own businesses, essentially sovereign as their own kings and queens, taking money away from the crown, not having the revenue that he needed in his territories with the crops and so forth he was getting from these territories. They're now being distributed by people who say they own and claim the land. So he cut a deal with Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, George Washington, all of them, and said, we have to get the people that are there to sign into this corporation and take on the liability for repaying the debt. The American continent, or what we call the United States of America, was not founded for freedom as we thought it was. It was founded to find a whole new way to enslave the people now that technology and ingenuity was freed up from the church. The church could no longer structure and control the way they did. The kings no longer could control the people. So a multi-pronged control and attack had to happen. Malthusian law came in, which stated that if the population grows larger than the ability for the king or the ruler to control it, they had to be exterminated. They were doing that in different populations, except in France. And you know what happened in France? The French Revolution. They were able to take all the people who were the surplus people and use them to overthrow the government. So what the governments of the world, or those under the European rule and under the Vatican rule, said, we have to continue to understand that whenever there are surplus people, we have to go to war. Because the way we are going to structure the world, we can't afford to have surplus people, because the surplus people will begin to get a drain on those who are set up the business. And all of that got translated over here. Now, when black people came over here and won their independence or freedom, this whole continent was covered with surplus people. That's when the Civil War broke out. In the War of 1812. Then all these wars that you see us keep going on, it's to crop the surplus people. They said, well, listen, this population is growing faster than we could control it. We might as well profit from it. All right, let's just start writing laws, taking them back from the old days, the old Roman black letter laws and the slave laws, and let's just start converting them and see what it is that we could do in order to criminalize the behavior of the surplus population. And then when we criminalize the surplus population, set up the jailhouses the way we set up warehouses in order to put goods. But in this case, we have to structure the economy and to structure the situation so that when we house people, they're paying. So what we do is, to do that, we have to take what it is that they use to create value and own it. So that's when they moved against your gold in 1913. Then they moved against your land and your silver back in the 1970s and 60s. And once they took all of what it is and got you to sign over the fact that the land is yours, but you buying it with phony money and the rest, now they got you because you no longer had the ability to pay your debts without gold. Once you don't have any more gold, you cannot pay your debts. Once you can't pay your debts, you don't have a land, you don't have a nation. Then you become surplus supply. With that in mind now, with your gold gone, and your ability to use the land that is yours for your own profit, because you signed the land over to them. When you put up your contracts and got into the whole deal, when they started handing out your Social Security, the Social Security was given to you back then in lieu of the worth that you had in the land. So now you, the human breathing spirit representation of God, is the most valuable commodity on the planet next to gold. So they had to use you and create a worth. Let's just create a system of money, because you can never just keep making money. We have to create a system of economics and a fiduciary system that is flowing, that moves like the spirit, but is tangible and has the same kind of elusiveness of the spirit. What element is like that? Out of the 4 elements, which element moves? Well, exactly. So what they did was they moved everybody off of the worth, which was the land, and said that the whole new way that we're going to conduct law and business is on the ocean, where there is nothing solid. If we rule the seas or water or the oceans, then we are the ones who will tell everyone else where it is that they could dock. Once they turned everything into the law of the seas, or the law of Melchizedek, they turned each and every one of y'all into vessels. If you go to Black's Law and look up what vessel is, they'll tell you a person. So now, all of you are vessels floating on an imaginary ocean. But you see, when I told you 20 years ago, when I told my beloved brother Khalid just a few years ago that the war is with principalities and it's on the metaphysical level, it now comes to being when you see that we are vessels on a perceptual playing field that is based on liquid, water, the laws of Melchizedek. And the people don't understand that the air itself that we breathe is considered water. Because air is nothing but a variation on the theme of liquid. So now, just to get the picture on the metaphysics of how they're playing you, and why it is that the water is being used, is because once they get you on water, the more water, because you're not a water-based creature, got to work harder on water in order to stay alive than you would have to on land. So they took you off of your secure ground, gave you a Social Security number, a birth certificate, and license to drive. They took away your rights to be a human being and told you that you could, with you being given little gratuities, you now have privileges, which is different. Look up the word privileges. You now have privileges to be on the land that you gave back over here to me. Now, the secret part of what's getting ready to happen and what's going on is